Hello students, in this session we will derive the formula for radius, energy and velocity of an electron revolving around the nucleus according to the Bohr's atomic model. So after the failure of the Rutherford model, which failed due to because it could not explain the stability of an atom, Bohr's atomic model was successful in explaining the stability of an atom, as well as it gave the important formula for radius, calculating the radius, energy and velocity of electron in different energy levels. So two main points we will discuss here: the Bohr's quantization of angular momentum. According to Bohr, the angular momentum of an electron is quantized. What is angular momentum? See, it is a property of any particle revolving around a center. So here in an atom we have a nucleus and we have the electron revolving around this. So Bohr's atomic model said that the electrons revolve around the nucleus in certain fixed path. They are known as orbits or shells. Now according to him, the angular momentum, see, this is a suppose electron, its mass is m and it is moving with velocity v. So the momentum is mv. Now since it is moving in a circular path, suppose the radius of this path is r, so angular momentum is given by mvr. So this is a property of a rotating particle. MVR is equal to, according to Bohr's model, MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi. So this was an important postulate of Bohr's model which helped in deriving the formula. What does it mean? See, angular momentum can have only integral values. N can be 1, 2, 3. It cannot be fractional. So he said it is quantized. Quantized means the angular momentum will have certain fixed values. It cannot have all the continuous values. Second postulate was the centripetal force of an electron that is revolving around the nucleus. See, whenever any particle revolve around the nucleus, the force of attraction, there will be certain force which make it possible to revolve around the nucleus, or which make it possible to revolve in a circular path. This is known as centripetal force. Now from where does this centripetal force comes? This is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction. See, this is electron, it is negatively charged. This is nucleus, positively charged. So there will be a force of attraction, and this force of attraction provides the centripetal force. You can compare it to the planets revolving around the sun. Planets revolve around the sun due to the gravitational force. So their gravitational force is providing the centripetal force. In case of atom, when electrons revolve around the nucleus, the force of electrostatic force of attraction between the opposite charges provides the centripetal force for the electron to revolve around the nucleus. So we can write, for an atom to be stable, centripetal force must be equal to the electrostatic force of attraction. I hope it is clear. Now the formula for centripetal force is mv square upon r, where m is the mass of electron, v is the velocity and r is the radius of the path. Electrostatic force is, the formula is K into Q1 into Q2 upon r square. So suppose this is the distance r. It is revolving in this circular path with a radius r. Charge Q1 and Q2. Q1 is suppose the charge on the nucleus, Q2 is the charge on electron. Now what will be the charge on the nucleus? Suppose the charge on the nucleus is due to the protons present in it, because neutrons are neutral. So the charge is due to the protons. Now number of protons is equal to the atomic number of the element. So atomic number is suppose Z. So there will be Z number of protons inside the nucleus, each having charge equal to E, that is plus 1.9 into 10 power minus 19. So it will have charge plus ZE. I hope it is clear. Number of protons multiplied by the proton charge is equal to the total charge present on the nucleus. Number of protons is equal to atomic number multiplied by the charge of the proton. So we will get plus Ze. So the charge here is plus Ze, charge on electron is minus E. So we will take the magnitude only. So this becomes mv square upon r is equal to k. K is a constant here. K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught in SI unit. It is equal to 1 in CGS unit. Q1 is Z E and Q2 is E upon r square. So can we write mv square upon r is equal to k Z E square upon r square. So this is equation 2. This is equation 1. We will be using these two equations to get the formula for radius, energy and velocity of the electron. So from equation 2 can we write V is equal to NH upon 2 pi m into r. From this equation 2 we can write this V is equal to NH upon 2 pi mr. Now putting this value in equation 1. Equation 1, m v square. So in place here we will cancel r by r. So v square will be n square h square upon 4 pi square m square r square. This is mv square is equal to k Z E square upon r. So r will be equal to k Z. See, first we will cancel out here. R will get cancelled by r, m will get cancelled by m, then anything else is getting cancelled, nothing. So we can write this r we will take here, okay, and we will bring this value here. So we can write here r is equal to n square h square upon 4 pi square m k Z E square. So this is the expression for r, n square h square upon 4 pi square m k Z E square. Now if we put the values of h, which is 6.626 into 10 power minus 34 joule second. Mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. Charge on electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. K is equal to 1 upon k is equal to 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. So all these constants, when we put the values in this formula, we get r is equal to 0.529. What is left? N and z. N square upon z, and we will get this value in angstrom. See, these are SI units. First we will get the answer in the meter, and then we have converted that meter into angstrom. So this will be the formula that will be used. 0.529 n square upon z. That means as n increases, radius increases, which is obvious. When this is nucleus, when we move away from the nucleus, this is number of shells is increasing, means radius will increase. So as n increases, r also increases, but as z increases, the radius will decrease. So if we compare the radius of first orbit for hydrogen and helium, its atomic number is 1, its atomic number is 2. So when we put here, the radius will come out to be less for helium. So as z increases, the radius of the orbit decreases, because the positive charge is increasing at the nucleus, so it will attract the electron more strongly, and so the radius of the path will decrease. So this is the formula for radius, 0.529 n square upon z angstrom, which will be used in the numericals. Now second is calculation of velocity. See, we will again use the Bohr's quantization of angular momentum. mvr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. We can write v is equal to nh upon 2 pi m into r. Now if we put the value of r, we just got the derivation nh upon 2 pi m. The formula was n square h square upon 4 pi square m k z e square. So bring it to the numerator, you will get n h into 4 pi square m k z e square upon 2 pi into m into n square h square. This will get cancelled out. 2 pi, 1 pi will get cancelled out, mass will cancelled out. So what is left here? V is equal to 2 pi k z e square upon n h. Now when we put the values of these constants k z e square, e for 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, value of Planck's constant, we will get the value 2.188 into 10 power 8 z upon n centimeter per second. So this is the formula for the velocity of the electron. Velocity is equal to 2.188 into 10 power 8 z upon n centimeter per second. So here as z increases, velocity increases, or we can say if n increases, velocity decreases. That means if this is the nucleus and we are moving away from this nucleus, third shell, the velocity of the electron in the first shell will be maximum, and then it will go on decreasing. So as n value increases, n is equal to 1, 2, 3, as the value of n increases, the velocity of the electron will decrease. So velocity of electron will be maximum in the first orbit and it will decrease as we move away from the nucleus. So this is calculation of velocity. Now let's come to the third one, calculation of energy. Now calculation of energy, see total energy is always equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. You know the formula of the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is half mv square. Clear? Now can we write here with this formula, mv square upon r is equal to kze square upon r square. So r will get cancelled by r. So in place of this mv square, can we write here kze square upon r? So kinetic energy becomes half kze square upon r. So this is the formula for kinetic energy. Now coming to the, we are writing equation 1. Now coming to the potential energy, see suppose there are two charges, positive and negative charge, and there is a separation between them. Now the charge here is Ze and here the charge is minus E. The separation suppose is R, means the electron is revolving at a distance R around this nucleus. So potential energy will be K into Q1 into Q2 upon the charge separation, that is K into Ze square upon R. Now here we have to take the signs, here plus, here minus. So the formula will become potential energy is equal to minus kze square upon R. This is equation number 2. So we have got the formula for both kinetic energy and potential energy. Now put these values in total energy. Total energy will be equal to kinetic energy is kze square upon 2r. Potential energy is minus kze square upon r. So the total energy will be minus kze square upon 2r. This is the total energy of the electron revolving around a nucleus in a certain fixed path. Now can you see from here the equation potential energy, as the radius increases, as you will increase the radius, what will happen to the potential energy? Potential energy will also increase, that means the stability will decrease. So as the electron moves away from the nucleus, means radius increases, its potential energy increases and it becomes less stable. total energy, coming to the total energy, as the radius increases, again the total energy increases, so the stability of the atom will decrease. So this is the conclusion from the total energy. Now this is the formula. On putting the values, we will get the formula for E is equal to minus 13.6 Z square upon N square electron volt per atom. So this is the main formula that we'll be using. Now if you want to write the value in joules, so 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joule. So you can multiply it by this value, will get the answer in joule per atom, and the value in joule per atom is minus 2.18 into 10 power minus 18 Z square upon N square joule per atom. If you want to calculate the value in kilojoule per mole, this is for per atom. So for per mole, what you have to do? You have to multiply it by Avogadro number. So you will get the answer in kilojoule per mole. It is minus 1312 Z square upon N square kilojoule per mole. So generally we will be using this formula, but if you are asked the answer in joule or kilojoule, you can use these two formula to find out the energy of an electron. So these were the formulas for energy, radius and velocity of electron. Now we will solve one question. Calculate the radius of Bohr's fifth orbit for hydrogen. So you have to use the formula for radius. Radius is equal to 0.529 N square upon Z angstrom. Clear? So this is the formula we'll be using. Now fifth orbit mean N is equal to 5, and for hydrogen Z will be equal to 1. So put the value 0.529 N square, 5 square, Z is 1. So you will get the answer 13.225 angstrom. Clear? Now if you are asked for helium He plus, so we will write here the Z is equal to 2 and we will calculate the radius. Now for first orbit for hydrogen atom, the value will come out to be 0.529 for first orbit of hydrogen. Clear? So it will become out to be 1 square upon 1. So it will be 0.529 angstrom. This value is known as Bohr's radius. Bohr's radius, and it is denoted by R0. Clear? So if you are given the Bohr's radius or the radius of first orbit of an hydrogen, you can calculate the radius for any other atom or for any other ion. So if you want to calculate the radius of third orbit of, suppose you have to calculate the radius of third orbit of He plus ion. So it will come out to be, radius will be equal to third orbit, see 0.529, third orbit means N is equal to 3 square, and for helium Z is equal to 2. So you will get the answer 2.38 angstrom. So in this way you will be doing the questions based on radius. In the same way we can find out the energy of the electron revolving in a particular orbit. So I hope you like the video. All the derivations are clear to you. You have to learn the equations basically to solve the numericals based on Bohr's atomic model. That's all. Thank you.